Good morning. It's Friday, October 1st, and we're shooting in front of a live audience today at beautiful Free Lutheran Bible College in Plymouth, Minnesota. We got a chance to see some of Minneapolis's famous spots, from the Stone Arch Bridge to the Minneapolis Sculpture Garden with its giant blue rooster and Spoon Bridge and Cherry. Now, this is Worldwatch. United Airlines is firing some 600 workers who missed a Monday vaccination deadline. Another 2,000 are claiming religious or medical reasons for not being vaccinated. But the CEO of United seems to have no doubt his company's vaccine mandate is best for each of its 67,000 workers.
I know that there are United Airlines employees who got vaccinated because of this, who will be alive a year from now. Some of them might still be mad they had to get vaccinated.
A private company can make such a mandate, according to one U.S. agency, but there's disagreement about governments doing so. Monday was also a deadline in New York State, as hospitals and nursing homes brace for the loss of workers who refuse to be vaccinated. And Governor Kathy Hochul spoke to that possibility, saying she would sign an order giving herself emergency powers.
That's going to allow me to deploy the National Guard, who are medically trained, deploy people who've been retired, who may have had a license lapse, bring in people from elsewhere.
And indeed, hundreds of hospitals and nursing home workers have been suspended, some 8% standing against New York's mandate. Percentages of holdouts among United employees and New York's healthcare workers might seem small, but those percentages could add up to a huge number on a national scale. President Joe Biden is imposing a nationwide vaccination requirement for federal workers, large companies, and healthcare staff. Global supply chains are still a mess, as seen by these cargo ships filled with products still stuck waiting off the coast of California. And this continued backup brings continued warnings about the coming holiday shopping season.
There are some concerns that all the toys that we will have for the holiday season are maybe on the shelves right now.
A few big companies like Costco and Walmart are taking drastic measures to get more products to shelves. They're renting their own shipping containers and chartering vessels that can be uploaded at less crowded ports. But the cost of shipping has spiked for everyone, and experts say this buck is getting passed on to consumers through product prices. Other factors contributing to gift price hikes include labor shortages and a lack of computer chips. So with fewer options and higher price tags expected in the coming months, experts advise us to start our shopping early, like now, or else we won't be left with many choices. Or maybe, some suggest, consider going with more personal, homemade gifts this year. Meet Astro. No, not the Jetsons' beloved family dog. This one is from Amazon, and it's a household robot.
And it's a beautiful illustration of how ambient computing can improve customers' lives in a way that traditional consumer electronics just can't.
Have you ever left the house and wondered if you'd forgotten to turn off the stove? Astro can check things like that with its periscoping camera.
Now, when you're away, you can use it to proactively patrol your home.
It all sounds kind of futuristic, but as other gadgets we once thought of as gimmicks, like floor cleaning bots and doorbell cameras, don't be surprised if this one becomes part of everyday life. Astro will be available for purchase in 2022 with a price tag just shy of $1,000. It's one thing to find gold coins, but imagine losing them. 2 amateur divers off the coast of Spain were cleaning up trash when they uncovered a handful of long-lost gold coins. They date all the way back to the 4th and 5th centuries of the Roman Empire. After some expert divers and archaeologists got in the water, the collection now totals 53 pieces. That makes it one of the largest finds in Europe. They're in pristine condition, and that will make it easier to study them and possibly gain insights into the fall of the Roman Empire. It's possible the coins were intentionally hidden to avoid being stolen by barbarians. Now that it's officially fall, it's a great time for campfires. And what's a campfire without roasting marshmallows? Well, good thing I've got some right here, the jumbo kind. If you've ever wondered where the word jumbo got its meaning, I've got good news for you. We're all set for another What in the Word?
Jumbo means unusually large. And what's unusually large? An elephant. Jumbo the elephant was born in Africa, but was brought to a zoo in France as a baby. He delighted visitors at the Jardin des Plantes for a few years before he was taken to the London Zoo. There he became a huge attraction and gave rides to children, including a young Winston Churchill, Teddy Roosevelt, and the children of Queen Victoria. But in 1882, the zoo decided to sell Jumbo to the American entertainer P.T. Barnum. The public protested. Thousands of children wrote letters to Queen Victoria, begging her to stop the deal. But despite the outcry, Barnum bought Jumbo and took him to the United States, where he became the star of the famous Barnum and Bailey circus. Jumbo's trainer, Matthew Scott, came with him because he was the only person that the elephant would cooperate with. Sadly, Jumbo met an untimely end when he was hit by a train. As the story goes, the elephant reached out his trunk to hold the hand of his trainer as he took his final breaths. Barnum, always the showman, preserved Jumbo's skeleton and had his hide stuffed. He continued touring with Jumbo until he eventually donated the elephant to Tufts University in Massachusetts, where it was put on display and became the school mascot. Jumbo means huge, massive, giant, and that perfectly describes Jumbo the elephant. He grew to be 12 feet tall, although Barnum advertised him as 13 feet. The word jumbo was probably used as slang before the elephant's time, but he certainly popularized the word. So the next time you're at a game, watching people freak out when they get on the Jumbotron, think of good old Jumbo the elephant.
What in the Word? Tomorrow begins Fallen Firefighters Memorial Weekend. It's a time when communities around the country pay tribute to those who've lost their lives in the line of duty. Reporter Caleb Bailey spoke to some firefighters who have actually experienced the loss of crew members.
None of us sign up to come to work to die.
10 years ago, Chief Dennis Fagnan's friend, Captain Jeff Bowen, was responding to an arson fire at a medical building in Asheville, North Carolina. Bowen was trapped on the 5th floor and died from smoke inhalation. A decade later, stations in the area are still wrestling with the pain of that loss.
1/3 of your life spent at the fire station, so we are literally family to each other. So it's no different than losing a family member of your own.
America honors fallen firefighters once a year on the first weekend of October with a national service in Emmitsburg, Maryland. But friends and family bear the burden of those deaths daily.
Those people paid an ultimate cost, an ultimate price, and we don't want to forget that. And also we want to learn. We want to learn from our past and not repeat those mistakes. So it's very, very important that we revisit and remember those fallen.
Captain Bowen was in the same crew as Chief Patrick Crudup. Crudup was off duty when he received the news of Bowen's death. Unfortunately, Bowen's story is more common than people might realize. Firefighters have chosen a career filled with risk and danger, but they've also chosen a tight-knit profession.
Whenever someone comes into the fire service, being here is like a second family.
That bond is often strengthened by tragedies like line-of-duty deaths. And even as firefighters support one another, they also extend that support to the relatives of fallen comrades.
They are considered family to us as well. So whenever there is a fallen, we circle around the families and make sure they're okay as well.
This weekend is a timely reminder that those who serve as firefighters are putting themselves in harm's way for us, and those who died did so to protect us.
This next story is a little nuts. A Fargo man had to take apart his truck after he found buckets and buckets of walnuts stuffed under the hood. And who's the culprit? The stockpiling red squirrel. North Dakota winters are pretty cold, and this squirrel was apparently determined not to end up cold and hungry. Bill Fisher says he's already removed 42 gallons of nuts from the truck, and there's still more where those came from. Hey, that's what I call an impressive work ethic. Proverbs 6:6 could almost say, go to the squirrel. And thanks for watching, everybody. I'm the Big Bash. Remember, whatever the news, the purpose of the Lord will stand.
Nice.